We're only 3 months into 2024, and if there's one thing that's been proven true, it's that AAA gaming is dead. And smaller studios are stealing the spotlight and stepping up, outdoing AAA companies in game design and even sales. Palworld, Enshrouded, Helldivers 2, Last Epoch, all of these are half the price of AAA games and are putting the AAA games released this year to shame. Suicide Squad, Dead on Arrival, developed by people who hate the fans. Skull and Bones, Dead on Arrival, a supposed quadruple A game with facial animations and combat worse than the game that inspired it from a decade ago. Helldivers 2, a game that's ran out of server space to handle the mass amount of players and has become a cultural phenomenon. Palworld, with a massive all-time peak of 2 million players, and are making Game Freak and Nintendo look like they're the ones who are the indie studio.
Leave
Nintendo
alone! Please!
When people like you or me say that modern gaming sucks, we aren't levying that statement towards games like Palworld or Helldivers or Lethal Company. No, modern gaming sucks is directed solely to the majority of AAA companies. And some might say, why do you even care about AAA games? Just ignore them then. And I agree, I've been doing that for quite a while now. But unfortunately, AAA studios and publishers have some amazing IPs that I just want to see more of from very passionate developers. Elder Scrolls and Fallout, 2 great IPs that are currently in the wrong hands at modern day Bethesda. After they continually brag about Starfield, and the numerous devs always defending the game design at every turn, I'm not expecting any future Bethesda games to be anything but disappointing. Ubisoft owns Splinter Cell, Call of Juarez, Brothers in Arms, so many other franchises, but they either ignore them completely or they turn them into modern gaming slop. Saints Row, Twisted Metal, Deus Ex, Infamous, Thief, so many franchises have been either abandoned or butchered. The thing about these games right here is that they were made by devs that are real gamers. Devs that made games they would want to play themselves. Devs that are passionate about what they're making and have a real understanding of game design. They aren't scared to make a game that isn't for everyone, because all games can't be for everyone. And this is one of the biggest reasons why AAA is failing right now. They try to appeal to the largest audience as possible. The games end up having no identity, no real strengths. They're so formulaic that they always come out feeling like every other milquetoast AAA game. And it's ended up being a reason many fans are pushed away.
We make games we want to play. It sounds a little too much like it's just like gatekeeping for bald middle-aged white guys like me.
This right here is just another corny-ass bullshit pandering statement that has led to the mentality that's killing the leadership at AAA studios right now. Where did this mindset get you, Justin? Record low player counts for Destiny 2 and a fan base that is expecting and hoping for Bungie's demise? But what does this dude care? He got promoted at this company after giving this GDC presentation, which should tell you everything you need to know about current AAA gaming. And again, I have to reiterate, we make games we want to play is the type of philosophy that leads to successes like Baldur's Gate 3, Helldivers 2, Palworld, Lethal Company, and so many others. So to any and all game developers out there that may be listening to this, have this quote hanging on your wall and design your games with it in mind. So AAA gaming is dead. I know that's a bit of a hyperbolic statement, and I'm going to back it up with some data in a minute, but first let's dive a little bit deeper into the success of games like Palworld and Helldivers 2. What about these games in particular is done so well that they're maintaining such high player counts and exploding? Let's first start with Palworld. Palworld is Pokemon meets Minecraft meets Breath of the Wild, and the way they were able to blend elements from all those games and still come out creating something that can stand on its own 2 legs, as its own real thing, is an impressive feat alone. But one of the biggest strengths with the game that I recognized pretty quickly is that it's a game that has a respectable grind. It's incredibly well balanced. Every game session on Palworld, you always feel like you're making progress, always discovering something new, and or doing some epic base building. In all my playtime so far across several servers, I've yet to get bored or feel like something is a slog. I feel like my time is being respected, which for a survival game, a genre I'm not usually a huge fan of because of long grinds, I have to say that Palworld has struck a near perfect balance in my eyes. And if you aren't comfortable with the base level grind, then Pocket Pair allows you to tweak a whole bunch of settings in your game world to adjust XP levels, death penalties, and a whole lot of other shit. And I really applaud them for having all these options for the player. Now that's a few big reasons I think the game is successful, but the next biggest is the pals themselves. There's been a lot of work put into the pals, having unique attacks and abilities, and even designs, even if they are very similar to Pokemon. It's fun to fight them, it's fun to catch them, and it's fun to ride them around and blow shit up. I've created more meaningful relationships with my pals in Palworld than I have in any of the recent Pokemon games. There's just so many ways to interact with the pals, and it's lent to some real sense of bonding with these characters. And lastly, the price of the game is $30, and it's also on Game Pass. Plus, no microtransactions or battle passes. It's just a damn good game for $30. Now the only downside right now is the bugs. Pathing for the pals, server instability especially on the Xbox consoles, and map glitches that lead you to potentially getting stuck. If they can iron out the basic bugs, I see no reason why I won't be able to stick with this game for years to come. Now let's take a look at Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 is what I would say is a true cinematic gaming experience. Not this.
Oh! I haven't done any of this, by the way.
No, this is, just so you at home know, we haven't touched the controller for 45 minutes.
Or this.
Is this how you get your sick kicks? What? It's just an ordinary Krabby. Oh my goodness!
No, this cinematic gameplay is happening in the gameplay. The explosions that light up your screen, the impact of your weapons, the ragdoll physics, the intensity of the gameplay. There's not much the game doesn't do right in regards to immersion. That was a huge drawing in point for me to finally purchase the game. The cinematic gameplay. Second is the simple yet enjoyable progression systems. Simple currencies to use in unlocking more upgrades. From weapons to stratagems to cosmetics, there's a lot to work towards. After spending some time with the game myself, I would describe the game like The Division's Dark Zone mixed with the OG Star Wars Battlefront games. Which is perfect for me because I love both those things. I think the only thing that could hold this game back a bit is the repetitiveness. Most of the missions are a little too similar, maybe I'm just not high enough of a level yet, but I can see the game getting a little bit stale over time if there isn't much else to it. But only time will tell. So, AAA Gaming is dead. It's time to finally back up that statement. Let's first take a look at the budgets for AAA games. Spider-Man 2, $315 million. Starfield, $200 million. Cyberpunk, $316 million for the base game, and $125 million more for Phantom Liberty and the 2.0 update. Marvel Avengers, $170 million. Suicide Squad figures are unknown, but it took 7 years of development, so we can also guess it's somewhere in the hundreds of millions. A lot of Sony first-party titles also have very similar budgets, and this kind of spending is unsustainable and frankly unnecessary. A lot of these game studios have excessive bloat and spending with inflated developer counts, a lot of money being invested into areas of the game that don't actually matter, and somehow these games often have less depth and creativity than they used to. It seems like all the budget is going to polygon counts and hiring BlackRock-funded companies like Sweet Baby Inc. to inject social politics into every aspect of the game. It's very similar to the current Hollywood movie world. Now, some of these modern AAA games are profitable, but a lot of them aren't. And we've seen a lot of studio closures, games being cancelled after years of development, or downsizing in order to cut costs. Hell, some companies are only staying afloat thanks to their egregious monetization practices. But as highlighted by the first half of this video, a lot of the most profitable and most played games right now are games from companies who are either indie, AA, or from software. Dev teams focused on making good games for players, and the players are responding accordingly, rewarding these devs for being gamer first. So could we be looking at another gaming industry crash, at least in the AAA space? Well, according to CD Projekt Red's Powell Sasko, who worked as the quest director for Cyberpunk, and Mike Laidlaw, who is the lead designer at BioWare for the Dragon Age series, they believe a crash is coming. Even Powell said in a recent interview, "When it comes to AAA, we are just running at a wall, I think, and we're gonna crash on that wall really soon." We're looking at studios with overinflated dev counts, overspending, mismanagement, ESG and DEI incompetence, and insatiable greed from top-level executives that is blinding them with every decision they're making. I fully agree with the idea of a AAA gaming crash coming within the next few years. So is AAA gaming dead? Officially, no. But the end might not be too far off. And in the eyes of many of us, AAA is dead to us already, and many of us have only focused on the indie and AA scene over the last few years, or we just go back and play older AAA games. For example, after Skull and Bones flopped, people have been going back to Assassin's Creed Black Flag. After Suicide Squad flopped, the Batman Arkham games rose back up in popularity and are already beating Suicide Squad in player counts. After Starfield flopped for me, I went and dropped 30 hours in Skyrim in just over a week. Even casual gamers who don't interact much online about games are voting with their wallets. They too just want good games made for gamers by gamers. And that's really what this video and a lot of my videos always boil down to. Games developed by passionate gamers that have a fundamental understanding of what makes gaming fun and entertaining is who I'm looking to buy from. And this is what the Helldivers 2 team really understands right now. They have nailed such a good core gameplay loop that despite the game lacking a bit more depth, it keeps players coming back and saying, just one more mission.